positive feeling, that positive thought. It would be very hard to think positive all the time, especially initially when the thoughts are so much. Okay, so but when we, as we keep working on ourselves and the thoughts reduce and we become aware of what we are thinking, then it can be a goal and where we watch ourselves and okay, so I'm going down this line and I can shift easily. But initially it is difficult. So you have to be patient with yourself and you have to keep supporting yourself and know that if you start working now, it's going to be a period of months before you start seeing results. Okay, and I feel that the chronic emotional states, uh, they do need some help, like a process in which they can be released. And I have seen processes like rebirthing breathwork are very effective. Even inner child regression is very, very effective in releasing that deeper emotional state. So these therapies, I often say, they work like shortcuts. So with the other work also, the other remedies that I am suggesting, if a person were to keep doing it, they will be, I'm sure that they will be able to heal whatever that they need to heal. But these therapies often provide a shortcut in which it's like, okay, so there is this big emotional load inside and I'd be able to release it. Yeah. Like for grief, especially, I've seen like sometimes past life regression comes in very useful, or guided meditations come in very useful. So that becomes kind of like a support structure, and then they can move on to supporting themselves with techniques like this. Okay? So I feel techniques like this, they have to become a way of life. Like meditation or being in awareness has to become a way of life. I feel another easy way of supporting ourselves in being emotionally calmer is the being aware of like an outside environment, the homes that we live in. So they do have a lot of impact on us. So our homes ideally should be calm, shouldn't be noisy. Yeah, like for our children also, we can provide that kind of home. It should be aesthetic. Okay, so not like, so there is this clutter lying there which you needed to dispose of and you haven't. It would be ideal to let that go and have a pleasing atmosphere in the house. See, because senses are very important. How do we interact with the world outside is through our senses. So this refinement of senses, when we give softer, gentler stimuli to our senses, they go on to refining our emotions inside. And they, I feel, especially I would highly recommend for the children. So the parents, when they are there, it's there. I feel they can easily do that, where they provide a home which is calmer and which is, uh, you know, clean and aesthetic and not noisy, right? And then you could have, so easy to do these things. You could have pleasing fragrances at home. It could be you're burning an incense sometime, or there's a candle lighted sometime. So it's like a pleasing atmosphere in the home. And I feel it goes a large way in calming down our emotions. So with the senses, with the five senses, we get the cues from the world. Okay, and from those cues, when they're received inside, then we uh, say whatever we want to say, or we feel whatever that we are feeling. So this is the thing which we can do for ourselves. And even I have, I really like to recommend this, that even to calm ourselves during an agitated emotional state, what we do is we can touch like five different textures. Can take 10-15 seconds with one texture and just feel them. So here also, see, what we're doing is we are engaging the sense of touch, and it will calm us down. Okay? So another sense that can be very easily engaged with, and I feel it's very useful for children also, for calming down the children and even ourselves, is to listen. listen deeply. So I could be just like I'm sitting here and I can make a conscious effort to hear all the sounds that I am hearing, not wanting to block anything. So here we are engaging the sense of hearing completely. Okay? So when we burn the incense, we are engaging the sense of smell. Okay, anything, it could be flowers there. We're engaging the sense of smell. What kind of food that we are eating? I cannot stress enough how that is important. And so many of us, we fail to pay any attention to it. So I can state categorically that I absolutely, highly recommend vegetarian food. Please do not eat animals. So animals, when they die, they suffer, they go through that pain. And normally they have been kept in cruel conditions. So they have suffered when they were alive. Where do you think these emotions are? Have they vanished? They are inside the body of the animal, which this person who is eating the animal is going to internalize within themselves. So all those emotions will become a part of you. All that pain is going to become a part of you. So when we start looking deeper into things, we have to look deeper into everything. It's not just that I can look deeper at this, but this, no, no. Because I like to eat meat so much, I would rather ignore this. If you are really addicted to eating meat, at least start becoming aware of it. So when you are eating, eat very quietly, having no disturbance, and focus all of your attention on that meat. If you start observing yourself, you will notice the changes which you feel in yourself when you eat an animal. So it's very important, I feel, to eat food. Even now, if we go to the, again, there are different levels to which we can approach it. So first level would be, please be vegetarian. That's the first level. Take a second level will be, what is the kind of vegetarian food that we are eating? First level I feel would be that we are eating fresh food. Fresh. Okay, so I get vegetables from outside, I cook it, I eat it. I'm not eating processed food. Okay, so processed food would be low in prana. It would again take me into a lower state. So third level of this could be that I am eating organic produce, which has been grown without any pesticides. Fourth level could be I am eating organic produce from the farmers that I know, or I am growing my food myself. Okay, so freshly plucked food, and it is cooked and it is eaten. I'm eating raw foods. So the raw food will always build up your energy. I have seen that, with people who have been depressed or prone to depression or are depressed, it is so important to have like at least one or two servings of raw food in your diet. Where we're eating fruits or we're eating salads, and because the raw food would have the highest prana, like it's not spiritual mambo jambo, it's very scientific. So the raw food would have very high prana. See, when we are eating a food, it becomes part of us. Like, what are we made of? Our bodies are made of the food that we eat. We have to become conscious of that. We are the earth. So the food grows on earth and we eat it. So our body is made of earth. So if we put chemicals into earth, that it's going to become a part of us, right? So again, then like I was saying, there are different levels of awareness that we can exist in, and you have to keep raising your level of awareness. Okay, so the food that we are eating and then how it is cooked. Believe me, even the bhav of the cook that who is cooking it does have an impact on you. I feel that's from where maa ki haath ka khana, the word mother's cooking comes from, because the love with which the mother will cook for her children, no cook could probably ever do that. Yeah? So the bhav also goes into the food. And I feel that's also the importance of the langars and the prasad, because there is an atmosphere of devotion and faith when this prasad was cooked or when this langar was cooked. It is being served with love. It becomes a taste different. Many times when I have eaten langar, I have felt that it does taste different. The prasad, it does have a does have an amazing taste to it. It does feel so good. So the vibrations of the place that we are cooking in, if we have a cook, I feel then, where is the cook stationed within himself? Is there a personal feeling there? Is there a feeling of loyalty for the family? Is there a feeling for caring for the family? If that is there, then also it is a very good thing. But if your cook is an angry person, bitter person, or you have not been treating them well, and you are eating the food cooked by the same cook, so that is something that you have to think about. Okay, so that's another level. So you can see which level you are on from grossest to, and one can go on being, it can be finer and finer. Okay, even when we are eating, we can be like conscious and calm, and the food becomes a part of us. So it becomes, it is, then the food also is calming to us. So all of these influences are around us, and they are constantly impacting us. The easy behaviors that we can have so that we are emotionally calmer are having a physical routine of exercise or of playing any games during the day. Walk, we are taking a walk, right? So when we exercise, also it releases these chemicals which make us feel better. So then also we shift to a better emotional state. So to get out of depression, it is very important to have a physical routine. Okay. So these are the externals, the space around us, and the easy ways, the food, things that we can work on. Yeah. So now I think where we can come to, yes. Um, when we are feeling a certain emotion, I feel an outlet for that emotion is also important. It is not this that if I am angry, so we have been mostly brought up with this notion that anger is bad, and so there is never an outlet for the anger. Okay, so we have to know of safe outlets for our emotions. It could be expressing in any way in which we are comfortable, and certain emotions are best expressed alone, not to the other person. Like anger, okay, I can maybe speak out in front of a mirror or talk to a neutral person where I can express my anger. So if we are angry and we are relating it to a friend who agrees with us and increases our anger, that doesn't help much. So you have to tell your friend that you have to be neutral, not supporting, not crossing, but just listening to me from a neutral space. Like, yes, an occasional yes could be a good idea. Yeah. So that could also be an outlet, right? So sadness, okay, so that can be an outlet where we can express this, we can write about it, what I'm feeling. If there is a person that we are missing, we can write them a letter, we can burn it, right? I feel writing letters is quite an effective tool. Left hand writing is also, if we are right handed, so left handed writing is also an effective tool as a release of emotions, right? It could be any other way also. Like you could have your own way of having an outlet. That some, it could be painting for some, it could be going for a job for another person. So there has to be a healthy outlet for the emotion, and you have to find your own, what is suitable to you. But better not, if we are angry or resentful with another person, I feel the ground root would be to not to throw it on that person. That's not a healthy expression. Okay. And I feel nurturing behaviors for ourselves are very important. So there would be, if you look at yourself, there would be things which are relaxing for you, and I would highly recommend like being out in the nature. I do it so frequently, like going for a walk in the garden, being with the trees, being with the birds. They are nourishing to us, and we should set time aside for doing that. Or anything else which relaxes us. It could be a massage, it could be a warm bath, it could be cooking something. So we have to find our own areas in life which are nurturing to us. It's very important, I feel, to reflect and find out, okay, these are the few things which I find nurturing for myself. I feel a lot of disturbance would come from too much use of the gadgets. So I would highly recommend that, okay, of course we can watch and we do watch, but there should be a time where we can just put away the gadgets, put away the phone. Like the phone is for me. I am not there for the phone, right? So it's not that I have to answer every message and I have to answer every phone call. So I can put away the phone and I can watch the Netflix for some time, but then I can put it aside. So too much of these gadgets, they stimulate and disturb us in ways that are still being discovered, because this is also fairly new. These gadgets, too much gadgets in our life. So I feel we have to be watchful for that. If we are truly intention to be calm, emotionally calm individuals, we have to work on disciplining ourselves there. So one is the atmosphere outside and one is the atmosphere inside us. So you have to observe yourself and reflect that what is the atmosphere inside me. Sometimes there is this, like the critical side of us, and it's constantly bringing us down with nasty comments or saying we have not done this or we didn't do this well. So the atmosphere inside is very disharmonious. So there we have to be, first of all, we have to observe it, that this is so, that the atmosphere inside me is disharmonious. And then we have to consciously take steps to change it. Like when we were saying that we insert a positive statement. So if the critical parent inside me says to me, oh, you didn't do this well, and you did this wrong and you couldn't do this, then I say, okay, but I could do these few things that I did, or okay, but still I'll be kind to myself. So I can introduce a positive statement there. So we are all taught to be kind and nice to other people, but nobody ever tells us to be kind and nice to ourselves. But we all assume that we are kind and nice to ourselves. But I think mostly we are not. We are very hard on ourselves. And this internal dialogue keeps going on, and that also fuels our emotional state where we kind of feel not good about ourselves and not good enough. So the awareness of thought also has to be the awareness of these internal dialogues that take place. And we have to know to change our emotional state. We have to change this dialogue. If somebody is constantly telling us how bad we are and how we feel, how is it that we're going to feel good? We're never going to feel good. And then if we don't feel good, people around us will also not feel good, because we can only give what we have. So if there is self criticism that we have, we're going to give it out. If there is anger inside, we're going to give it out. So also, to have a harmonious home, to have a harmonious family, it's imperative to change the demeaning dialogues that goes on in our mind. We have to be conscious and we have to consciously change it. I feel then I can eventually come to this, which is I feel the cornerstone where I will uh, be ending at, is that the biggest question, which can be like kind of like pulls the curtain apart and we can look at the truth. The biggest question is, who am I? So when we are meditating, sometimes we can just drop this question inside us: who am I? So, so many times we are identified with just our emotional states, but we are not that emotion. The emotions, they're like the clouds floating by, and maybe we are like that blue sky behind, right? So as we meditate, we connect to the our true nature, our true self, and we stop identifying so much with these emotions that come and go. Okay, so I feel that when we connect to who we really are, these emotions will lose their hold over us, and they will come less and less as dysfunctions, and they will come just as maybe these clouds flitting by, and we can experience that peace within us, that infinite peace that we are, which is like beyond any of these emotions. We don't need the happy of the happiness. We don't need to revel in the sad of the sadness. That's not us. And with this question, we can go deeper into finding who we really are and be into healthy emotional states. Yeah. With these, I think I'll like to end this talk. Thank you.